I just realized I don't actually know what microphone is this using. I don't know. Apparently it's picking it up because it shows a little color, so hopefully people will be able to hear me. Alright, let's get this set up. All the awkward preparation moments and everything. Howdy. Alright, so oh. Oh no. Oh. Are y'all hearing me? Can you hear me? And can you now see the rest Can you hear me? Yeah, it's coming out of not my normal mic because it can't come out of here. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix that. Let me see if OBS will change the microphone. Did that make the audio any better? Yeah, it's not a wall. It's actually a closed clamshell. It was using the onboard mic. Anybody 15-second lag, let me know if the audio is any better now. All right, there you go. Sweet. All right, so this is how we do this. Thanks. All right, so create a new track. Get our Onyx Blackjack, which is my USB interface, and then I can hear myself with a crazy lag. Oh gosh. The lag is really bad, I guess, because of... Why is the lag? Why is it laggy? I wonder if having this streaming is slowing everything down. This is not going to work at all. I can't hear myself at all. Okay. I mean, I can hear myself, but it's super lagged. So I'm gonna have to record this one not hearing myself in my ears, which is kind of tough, but oh well, that's life. Turn off our metronome. You all can see just how hacky I am. It's literally just in here. This is the whole thing. That's everything going on. And audio's perfect now. Good, glad to hear it. So, and then let's open this and check it out. My nice little script that I work from. This is fun. So this is going to be about Twitch, but I would love to find a way for any of y'all to be interactive with this. I don't know how, so I wonder, I don't know if it's like listener questions or something like that. Webcams went. Yeah, there's some kind of lag going on. I think my computer can't handle the number of things that are happening, and I think the USB stream of both the webcam and this audio is the problem. So I should actually make sure that it's actually going to record correctly. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything I can do about it, to be honest with you. Let's see if the recording's even going to work. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, so that's actually working. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can do about the lag. I think. Oh, theme song. You can't hear the theme song because I don't have the whole internal audio devices thing set up. Also, for those of you who've asked before about the 15-second lag, I went to the settings in Twitch to try to turn off the 15-second lag, and they said, and it doesn't work. I hit the toggle, save in my settings, and it doesn't get rid of the lag. And so I contacted Twitch customer support, and they're like, yeah, there's a bug where that toggle doesn't work, and we're not sure when it's going to be fixed. Sorry. So that's why we have this 15-second lag right now. So impromptu, oh my gosh, it's been ages. Also, Mike Bronner. I don't know, where's my webcam? Here we go. This just showed up in the mail today. For those of you who don't know, this is a squirrel, and in German that is Eichhörnchen, which is a Christmas present from one of my German-loving friends. So thank you. All right, so I'm going to, so I would love for any of you to suggest ways where you can have listener participation. I haven't figured out what that would be other than just like asking a question or something. I don't know if there's anything you want to talk about, because basically the purpose of this Geek Show is going to be talking about why am I streaming on Twitch and what have my experience has been like. That's kind of the goal for this one. So if anybody mentions something, I cannot speak German. Ich spreche nur ein bisschen Deutsch. I almost said lo siento. Yeah, I've got little bits of Spanish and little bits of German and little bits of English at times, all sprinkled around in my head. Okay, so if anybody wants to not judge my German, but instead contribute, there's a German exchange student who stayed at my house when I was a kid named Mechteld, and she had to teach us to basically pretend like you're scraping peanut butter off the roof of your mouth to learn the German Mechteld. So anyway, Twitch plays my stuff. I don't know what that means. The umlaut over any letter to me just means read that letter the same way you would normally, but then go e. So like E is like he, and U is like oo. U is like oo. So that's German 101 for you. Okay, we're just gonna go. I'm gonna start talking about Twitch, and if any of y'all suggest anything or make me laugh while I'm going at it or something like that, that'd be fine. If you suggest something for me to talk about, that's cool. Otherwise, you can just be the peanut gallery. We got to get our timer going correctly. I don't like the fact that I can't shrink that one down. Let's shrink this one up then. There we go. Theme show. We'll edit that later, and then we get started. It's really weird not being able to hear myself because of the lag. Okay, well, I'm just going to try it. Hi, I'm your host, Matt Stauffer, and this is episode, I don't know the episode number. I should start that again so I have the correct timer. Hi, I'm your host, Matt Stauffer, and this is episode 68 of the 5-Minute Geek Show, a twice-weekly show about development and everything around it. It's one topic per episode about front-end, back-end, mobile, project management, design, entrepreneurship, whatever. If it's geeky, it fits. Today, we're going to be talking about Twitch, and not only are we talking about Twitch, but I'm actually live streaming this whole thing on Twitch. I've got a whole bunch of friends hanging out and making fun of my German pronunciation while we're at it. So if you're hearing me laughing, hopefully it will be something that they said that is funny, and then I'll explain it, and it'll actually make sense. This may end up being just really confusing and kind of like a whole bunch of inside jokes to those of you who are listening and not watching right now. If that's the case, I'll try and upload the whole thing to YouTube later, and then we can do that. Also, note, I'm recovering from a bad cough, so perfect timing. Okay, so 5 minutes plus or minus 5 seconds. I will receive $20 if I can record this in 5 minutes plus or minus 5 seconds. It's not going to happen because all of them for ages have been probably up in the 8 minutes range, and I'll talk about that another time. Okay, so for those of you not familiar with Twitch, it's this concept for gamers of live streaming your play of a game. And so you're playing, Halo or whatever, and you're you set your computer up to stream video and audio of you, and sometimes a webcam, which is what I'm doing here, of you actually playing the game. And anybody on the internet can use a Twitch client, and they can tune in and they can listen to what's going on. And so recently they finally opened it up to programmers, and so I've been programming on Twitch. Okay, there's a chat room of all the people who are watching it right now, and they're all pinging things, and it's in the corner of my eye, and I'm trying to figure out how do I both engage with them, but also not make you, listener, later be really confused about what's going on. They're just trolling me about my coughing. Okay, so what I've been doing and having fun doing with Twitch is just going online with something I'm learning for the first time. This one's a JavaScript front-end framework called Vue.js, which I am absolutely in love with. It makes me never want to touch Angular or anything else ever again. And as I learn it, I've just been doing all my learning, all the times that I'm spending just hacking away on side projects on it, I've been streaming it on Twitch so that people can both teach me things but also learn along with me. And most tutorials, as I see them, end up being very much aligned with the concept of like, here, I've already figured this out and I'm going to teach you, in retrospect. But the best tutorials are ones, for example, those from Jeffrey Way, where someone shows you them doing it. So even if they know it, you get to learn ancillary things along the way. You get to see how their window manager works or what editor they're using or some cool shortcut, right? So I thought, why don't we take it a step further and you can actually see me as I learn it, so you can see the process of me flailing around, not having any idea what I'm doing. Great. So one of the questions, I wanted to share that basic idea and maybe some of the experiences I've had, but I asked the folks who are kind of hanging along to see, do you have any particular suggestions about things I should talk about or questions? So the first one has already come in, is maybe discuss challenges with Twitch. Can imagine other programmers use this for pairgramming. Yeah. So so the first challenge with Twitch that I had was it's very difficult to get into it. You need to learn kind of the Twitch culture. You have to get this kind of crazy technical setup up and running. However, my friend Assert Chris basically put up this whole kind of Twitch video of him talking about his whole setup. It disappeared off of Twitch, but he said he's going to edit it and get it online soon, so I'll put it in the show notes, basically teaching you about the tech stack you need. I'm currently using a software called OBS in partnership with some other software that changes my screen resolution, but it's definitely not like non-geek friendly. But since we're talking about doing it for programmers, it's not something we need to stress about. But just to note, if you're going to do it, it's a little bit of a learning curve. But there's also a learning curve just learning about the culture. Often people who do Twitch all the time are like chatting at me and they're like, well, don't you know how to ban someone from the chat room? Or don't you know how to do this? I'm like, nope. I've never actually watched anybody do anything on Twitch before. Dual monitor, yes. Sorry, listeners, I'm multitasking and not doing a good job. So the fact that Mike Bronner, who asked that question, he called it pairgramming, and I really think it is, because it is essentially, and I was trying to describe this to somebody recently, I said, programming on Twitch is basically like mass pair programming. It's basically the benefit of having a pair programmer along with you, and if you're not familiar with the idea, it's basically you and another developer working on the same project at the same time. Usually one person is driving, the other person is keeping their eyes open or looking things up or just contributing their basic knowledge about it. And so this is like that, but times as many people you have watching at the same time. And so often you'll get folks, and one of these folks is asking for attribution. I will give it to him. I think it's a him. C12H22011UK, which I've learned is sugar, and I think that's this person's last name, has contributed quite a few answers. And I actually had, and they'll say, oh, well, you missed that, or, whatever. And actually the creator of Vue.js, Evan, actually has checked in a couple times and given me some really helpful feedback while I'm at it. So as a tool, I'm less productive programming when I've got a whole bunch of people chatting with me. You can hear that I'm even less productive podcasting when I've got people chatting at me. But it's ridiculously fun. I have the added benefit of being able to share kind of my development process with other people and also get their input and kind of people teaching me. 40 seconds left, nothing. I'm not going to it's not going to be 5 minutes. But it's also it's collaborative. It's like a good experience of working with other people and being open about what you're doing. And I think the biggest thing for me is people kind of have said like, well, you're well known, you speak at conferences, you got a lot of Twitter followers, your blog is well known, therefore you must know everything. And people don't necessarily say that out loud, but it's often a little bit an assumption. It's just not true. Like, I'm a good developer. I won't lie about that. I'm a good developer. I'm proud of myself. I work my butt off. But I have all sorts of shortcomings. If you've ever watched me on Twitch, you know this. And I'm not in the place I am because I'm better than everybody. Now, if I was terrible, I probably wouldn't be this place, but it's just because I like sharing and I like teaching and I like opening up to people. And so I think there's some benefit to be had just from like bringing people into the learning process, bringing people into, I don't know, bringing people into the place behind the wall where we pretend like we have everything together. And we tend to basically not talk about a new framework or a new tool or something like that until we're in a place where we can at least pretend that we know more than everybody else. And I'm just like, screw that. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to be like, hey, look, I don't understand Vue.js at all. And someone's like, oh, well, maybe this, as if like, maybe you could try this, as if like they must be wrong and I know more or whatever. And I'm like, oh, probably. I've never even heard of that before. And it's terrifying to go in a place where you're saying, hey, look, everybody watch me have no idea what I'm doing. But at the same time, it's really awesome because it's like, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing and I don't have the pretense that I know. So there's not this fear that like everybody will secretly discover that you're an imposter. And no, I can't be an imposter because I'm telling everybody I have no idea what I'm doing. So it's actually really fun. It's really freeing. And so I guess that's more on like the, twitching on something you're doing that you know is new to you. But I think that's the gateway drug to twitching on something that's not new to me and still being willing for people to see that when I'm writing something that I've known for a while, there's still times when like I was writing an acceptance test the other day and I was like, I can't remember what the second parameter on the factory, method in our helper in Laravel is. And I think it's this, but I'm not sure. And somebody gave me an answer. I'm like, cool, thanks. I don't have to pretend like I know all that. Like I don't know. I don't know everything about Laravel and that's just fine. So, it's at 7.5 minutes. Anything else anybody wants to talk about? Because otherwise we're going to start cutting this down. There's also a 15-second lag between me saying things and the people in the chat room hearing it, which is a little bit of a bummer, but oh well. So I'm going to give them seconds. TikTok, chat people. All right, I got nothing. So in general, my thoughts about Twitch are, it's a really good way to develop a community of people who are learning with you, who are sharing with you, who are contributing, who get to know you. I think that the folks who join the Twitch chat room when I'm streaming or even watch the videos later understand me more as a person. And they also contribute back to me in a way that I just don't think would necessarily be the case were we not to have that kind of more intimate, connected thing. It's not like everybody has hours just to sit and watch me code. But for those who do, it's a really kind of fun and positive experience that I really appreciate. And so, like, the business value, like, yeah, okay, it's cool. Hopefully I'm teaching people and hopefully more people see me code and all kind of stuff. But it's just fun. Like, I just enjoy doing it. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from Twitch. Oh, one other shortcoming. I had a troll the other day for the first time, and some script kiddie comes in, or I don't know, gamer kiddie comes in and starts saying like inappropriate things. It took me a second to figure out how to ban and ignore people. So that's like, but whatever, that's life. When you first join Twitter, you're eventually going to have a troll or something like that, and you learn it, and that's fine. But other than that, the Twitch folks in Twitch have been helpful and communicative. The one time I had to ask customer support for something, they were really great and helpful. So I don't know, in general, I'm just really happy with it, and I like it, and we'll see where it goes. So I think that's it for today. No other questions came up, and I'm totally out of time. So thanks for listening to the 5-Minute Geek Show. We're at 5-Minute Geek Show on Twitter, number 5, 5minutegeekshow.com, F-I-V-E, and you can subscribe to us on iTunes or via RSS if you like the show. Share it with your friends, rate it on iTunes, or create an entire Twitch channel devoted to talking about how much you like the Geek Show. Thanks. Until next time, Matt Stauffer, 5-Minute Geek Show. All right, Twitch streamers. If any of you feel like sitting around and watching me go through the export process, you're welcome to. I will keep the stream going during that time. First thing I'm going to do is turn on a fan because it's so freaking hot in here. But if any of y'all just dip, I don't mind at all. Thank you for joining me, though. Holy crap, it's hot. Oof. All right. So now let's do our editing.
Maybe a 5-Minute Geek Show, a weekly show about...
Oh my gosh.
Hi, I'm your host, Matt Stauffer.
So...
External, I can't be...
There might be robot noise across the entire thing that didn't show up when I did a playback earlier, but it's showing up now. That might have ruined the whole thing.
Hi, I'm your host...
There is.
Hi, I'm your host, Matt Stauffer. This is episode 68 of the 5-Minute Geek Show, a twice-weekly show about development and everything around it. It's one topic per episode.
So I have to decide whether or not I'm willing to put up with it sounding like basically a total robot the entire time.
Hi, I'm your host, Matt Stauffer. This is episode 68 of the 5-Minute Geek Show, a twice-weekly... We're going to be talking about Twitch, and not only about and making fun of my joke that is funny, and then I'll explain it. In case I'll try and upload the whole thing to YouTube. Okay. So, 5 minutes plus or minus 5 seconds.
Well, so that happens. Basically, what happened there was something about my computer couldn't handle, and that's why you guys were seeing the delay. My computer couldn't handle the difference between, or the whatever the input between the USB input for my microphone and then the USB and then the streaming. There's something about it just kind of basically crapping itself. I can. The problem is if you drop, y'all probably
Hi,
can't
I'm
hear
your
this.
host, Matt Stauffer. This is episode 68 of the 5-Minute Geek Show.
But it's pretty bad. I will have to pull off pretty much the entire like upper range. I've done it before, but it's not my favorite. So I'm definitely not going to make y'all sit through this. I'm going to try. Normally, I would just go back and re-release it, re-record the whole thing, but have that up. So let's bring in the theme song. And then line that up.
Hi, I'm your host, Matt Stauffer.
And then go to the end. And then let's add sweet potato.
Stauffer, 5-Minute Geek Show. Stauffer, 5-Minute Geek Show.
You ready?
Okay. Matt Stauffer, 5-Minute Geek Show.
You ready?
Matt Stauffer, 5-Minute Geek Show.
You ready? Alright, so I'm going to add my normal filters to this one.
Okay. Hi, I'm your host, Matt Stauffer. This is episode...
Oof, that made it even worse. Alright, so I'm going to go back in later and see if I can EQ out that nastiness, but I've done worse. The car episode was way worse, you're right. It's definitely the streaming. Even now, without the webcam streaming, this is all getting all janky, messed up. So this is probably the only time we've done this. Sad face, but I just think it can't handle, my computer can't handle it. So I'm going to go EQ it, and let's just pray that I can get it good enough to the point where I can release this one. And if so, then I'll release it later today. Actually leave it semi-bad and add a bit to it. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at least a little bit bad, but regardless of like how much people understand why it's bad, they're still like, I understand why it's bad, and yet I still couldn't listen to it. And so that's kind of just like, but the good thing is it's all...
Hi, I'm your host, Matt Stauffer. This is episode 68.
I think it's all in the upper range, so I'm going to try and EQ just down like the highs, and my voice will sound a little muddy, and we'll see what we can do. So yeah, I'm definitely still learning. We've learned that. Okay, so since I'm not going to subject you all to me sitting around and EQing, you've now seen the process normally, and so now what I would basically go to do, and I guess I can show this, is I'd go over to Simplecast, make a new episode, and then just upload it. So type in the episode title, episode summary, put the notes in, upload the file, decide when I want it out, and then tweet it out. That's the whole process. So I'm going to sign off for now. I'll switch this over to YouTube after I'm done. And so anybody who wants to see it later or steal me trying to say they can check it out and just kind of wish me luck in getting this edited down.